Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Jedi Archives Virtual Cantina After Show. We've already, this is our second week of doing this for the Maul Shadow Lord.
Introductions are in order. I
Yes.
am Mike,
And I am,
and here is
and he is
Jabba's
Jabba.
Palace.
I am Jonathan. We are the Jedi Archives. We do every other, well, first and third
Third
Sunday, we do
Sunday.
comic reviews and sometimes some other stuff, fun stuff. Right now we're in Mall Madness. So right now we're doing the reviews, the after shows for the Mall after show. This is weekly. We're doing this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Pacific time. You can figure the rest of the math for yourself after that.
11
uh,
p.m. Eastern,
yeah.
and everything in between for everyone else.
Today we are doing episodes. I want to say issues or chapters,
Chapters. It's
whatever.
chapters 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
Yeah, deep dives. So last week we did the deep dives for chapters 1 and 2, the opening chapters, and today we're going to go deep dives into chapters 3 and 4, Whispers in the Unknown, and chapter 4, Pride and Vengeance. So let's get right into it with Whispers in the Unknown. So it opens with 2 moons over Janix, and we return to Jedi Padawan Devon Izara, voiced by Gideon Adlon, having escaped her cell after Maul has goaded her into using her force powers, that she has to start rethinking her role in the galaxy. So, having escaped her cell in the Shadow Collective's hideout, she's now immediately cornered by Rook, cast, voiced by Vanessa Marshall, and her Mandalorian mercenaries. And they kind of like coax her over towards Maul, voiced by Sam Witwer, and who's been waiting patiently in front of a small table where he offers her some warm beverage. So then he
Yeah.
engages in conversation. Yeah.
So definitely this mall, I guess this series, since we have so many different malls, is definitely way into almost like a light side user, the will of the force. Even though he's talking about, I don't actually say the dark side, but it's the will of the force as he, I guess, he perceives it. He's being very, he's trusting. He keeps saying things will happen for being set in motion, stuff like that, and it's just he believes it's the way will of the force. And honestly, we'll never understand the force. Obviously, first of all, it's not real. But even in the universe, is there a will for the dark side? There could be. Who knows? But it's definitely it's interesting that he's totally committed to just believing what the force is going to do and give
Well,
him. It's
it's
very
definitely more like the Bendu. The Bendu did say that it's not the light side own the force or the dark side own the force. There is just the force. So if you listen to the Bendu, because think about that. Remember in when in Rebels, when they encounter the Bendu and the Bendu starts laughing at them, thinking, "You're so," he's like joking with them, saying, "You guys are ridiculous. You think that you own the Force or you control it? You don't. There is just the Force." So I think that Maul, now that he's just Maul, he's no longer a Sith. He really is just a Force operative, and he's following the will of the Force. So I think he's actually being more earnest, and he's actually following the will of he's being used by the force to
that's
follow
if
the
you
will
believe
of
this is actually the force's will. That's what we.
I think it is. I think it
So
is.
it could be, but in a way,
I'm not
not
saying he's
Maul.
good or bad. There's
Let's say
just the
not in
will
the
of the
way
force.
Maul is expecting. I think it could be, but could be more of actually almost on the light side. Sometimes it has to go through the darkness, almost like Anakin. A lot of bad stuff happened. Was that the will of the Force? It could have been because it kind of knows the end game. So it's very interesting to think of it like that way. So
I mean, he still has free will.
yeah.
So we're not talking about free will here, about his will. He still has his motivations. He still wants to be greedy. He still wants what he wants. But in terms of what he's feeling, the force still nudges and guides. I mean, he still wants to get rid of the emperor.
This is a
And that's also
fascinating.
what the Jedi want.
This is a fascinating discussion, but I think this is for our counterparts, the the unified force discussion. But I would love to get more into it, but we don't have time to get too deep.
Well, let's continue. Let's continue. So you brought it up, so
I
I'm
know, but
just
that's why
continuing.
I had to bring it up because something I've realized from Maul this series is he's very, like, I don't want to pick too much, but he's very like, this is the will of the force type thing.
Well, because he does lead down that path when he starts talking to her over the tea. He asks her, he engages her in conversation by asking her name, because he says, "You know my name." So, the polite thing to be would be like, what is your name?
But
Which
he's
she
lying.
refuses. Huh?
He's lying because he already knows her name.
But we don't know that at this point, and she doesn't know that.
But he's still lying.
But we don't know until the end of this episode.
So, like, it's deception, essentially.
It is deception. Yeah. He's trying to manipulate her.
Yeah.
Because he is manipulative. We know that of him. But he's using all his tricks of his trade. So he says, "What's your name?" He's trying to see how much he can manipulate her. But she doesn't fall for it. She doesn't give him her name. So she's like looking around, and she keeps like eyeballing his lightsaber, right? Because remember, she didn't take it with her when she got arrested. She left it with her master.
Yeah.
She's a clever girl. But she sees that lightsaber, and he left it there, which is very reminiscent of another temptation method that the Emperor did with Luke. Remember in Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
When he's up there and he has it, there's like, "Take it. I am unarmed," right? When he tells Luke, "Strike me down," right? It's just a temptation. There's no way that Luke was ever going to be able to get it and strike him down. It was all a trick. So then he tells her, and she's like looking at it, and she's talking with him, and he starts telling him his whole story, right? That, we're more alike than you think. We're both trying to get rid of the Emperor. We're both running away from the Empire. We're very much alike. And she's like, "I'm nothing like you," So this scene ends with Devin stealing his lightsaber, using her force abilities, and then igniting it. And as soon as she ignites it, he immediately extinguishes all the lights, and then he tells her, "Well, we can work it that way too, but you're not going to like it." Right? Yeah. And you can hear the smile in his voice. And Sam Witwer's, he's just like, he's exquisite. I love him. His voice is just like perfect. And then it switches back to, there's a swipe, and we go back to the police headquarters. And then we have Captain Lawson, voiced by Wagner Moura, and his partner Two Boots, which is Richard Ayoade. And they're working on two leads in the case, trying to track down the Shadow Collective and their captives, when Two Boots reminds him again that he's late for his son's match. So, and he's trying to stay in good graces with his son. So then Lawson suggests, let's bring in the members of the local smuggling rings for questioning to try to find out where Maul is before he rushes off to catch Riley's game. And then we cut real quick to Maul taunting Devin by saying that she craves that unfulfilled destiny of the Jedi to capture Maul, right? So he's fishing. And because, the Jedi Order's no more, but he knows that she still would love nothing more than to capture Maul.
Yeah. I will say, this is one of the better. Remember, I don't know if you mentioned her, if you watched before, I mentioned kind of the lightsaber scenes so far have been almost, I don't know, teasers. Like you
couldn't see it. Mm-hmm.
You couldn't see too much too fast, or almost like they slowed down the frame rate almost at a point. So it's just kind of like more like slashes and lights, and Maul beat up, but you didn't see how much he did. This is the first time I really got to see a lightsaber like fight. Obviously it's the first time two lightsabers fought, but like still in a fight with lightsaber, you get to see the moves a little bit, really detailed, and it was very entertaining. I enjoyed it.
I was thinking of you. I'm always thinking of you, John, but I was especially thinking of you when I was seeing these lightsaber engaging the battles. I'm like, oh, finally, we're getting some good lightsaber scenes. But I agree. The lightsaber battles, the duels were getting much better. It was very satisfying to see the lightsaber action. It's looking much better. So it's building.
And so this is all by design by Maul, because obviously he needs a way for Lawson to find his hideout, but made it seem like he wasn't a trap or isn't like they intentionally gave it all. So he lets her escape, which at the same time, I'm almost thinking about like her and her master probably should have known it was a trap. I'm like, he kind of, he let you go. Really? I mean,
Of course he
he,
did.
what? Why would you think he'd not move his base unless it's a trap? And so it's essentially, I kind of felt a little, especially her master's supposed to be a Jedi, at least a Jedi Knight. I don't know how far up if he's a master or not, but he seems pretty wise so far, but it's kind of not a wise move what he did.
Right.
I guess at the same time, now that I think about it, she kind of coerced him into doing it. He didn't want to do it. He said we should get off, but he still should have said like, "This is obviously a trap." Like I knew it was going to be a trap I heard when they're like, "Let's go back." I was like, "He let you go for a reason." I'm like,
right.
So I don't know. I thought that was a little interesting.
But before that, Captain Lawson goes to Riley's game, and he makes it just in the nick of time because Riley's about to get on the field, and he calls out to his son and says, "Oh, Dad, you made it." He's like, "Of course," and he's like all playing it off. I wouldn't miss this, I wouldn't miss this, but he almost did if it weren't for Two Boots. And I love their banter back and forth. And one thing I've got to say is this show is doing the pacing's been really good so far in all the episodes. So one thing that's been lacking about Disney Plus's shows is their pacing hasn't always been the greatest, but in this show the pacing's been really spot on. And another thing is the characters, the chemistry between the characters has been good in all the pairings. So like the chemistry between Maul and the Padawan, that chemistry is really good. The chemistry between Two Boots and the Captain, that's been really good. All the chemistry among all the characters is really good, and the development of the characters has been equally as good. So I don't feel that any character is not developed well. They're all well developed so far.
We definitely see some cracks in the chemistry with Two Boots and Lawson next chapter. But yeah, definitely.
But they're deliberate cracks. I mean,
it's
they're
definitely
meant to be
good writing. Yeah,
not that it's bad writing; it's good writing.
Yeah.
But they're I like it. So then
I didn't know his son because I thought his son was like maybe high school age or something like that. But when he was at that stadium and you hear the chants, that didn't sound like high school sports. That sounded like pro. Like it was very interesting. Like you hear the chanting, Lawson, and that big stadium. Like this, maybe that's how high school is on this planet. It's pretty much like pro sports, but it definitely seemed like a really big deal. So I wish we could have saw it because right now all I can think of is it's like Star Wars Quidditch, and it'd be cool.
To me, it looked like Highlight. It was like
Highlight.
It looked really cool. Yeah,
I mean,
it's something really cool, and really popular Star Wars popular sport.
It's probably the Koakli and monkey lizards running out there and they're trying to hit it as hard as they can.
Yeah.
Brutal sport.
Yeah. So then, but it's short-lived. So he's there watching his son, and all is well, but it can't last forever because he feels something, spying on his back, and of course, it's Master.
Lucky Nicky.
Yeah, Lucky. Nuku Nuku.
That Tiki room.
Yeah, Tiki room on his back. And he tells him, "What are you doing here?" And he tells him, "I'm looking for my niece. I'm his uncle. I'm her uncle." He's like, "Oh, interesting." But he says, "Yeah, I'm just trying to find her. Can you help me? We can help each other out because you've never encountered anybody quite like that, Maul, of course, right? You be careful." He warns him because he cares about him. He doesn't want him to get hurt because he can tell that he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Then in the middle of that, he gets a call, and of course, it's Two Boots telling him that they're in trouble because Two Boots has taken off with Officer Reb to the location of the next Pike shipment, right? Because oh no, back at the police headquarters, they remember when he went to the game, Two Boots went with another partner, Officer Reb, which
Yeah.
is voiced by Sam Corlett from Vikings Valhalla, which is pretty cool. I love that show. To see the Pike Syndicate arguing with Vario's men. And then Rook and her Mandalorians show up, and they fire a rocket launcher at the evidence before the police can take it. So then the smugglers escape in a modified armored transport. So then Lawson has to take off and miss his son's game, despite his best efforts. And then when
I don't
Riley,
know. That's what some discussion has been is it his best efforts, or is he intentionally like hiding from his real life? Is he digging into his work to step away from his life? Because obviously he's not with his wife. That all his home life's going well. So I mean, it's those psychological things when you're not really intentionally doing it, but you're what's the word? Subvertently doing it, but you're not knowing you're doing it. So he's trying.
no, I think he loves his son. I think he really does love his son
too. But I think he feels more comfortable at work. That's where he doesn't have to have his feelings. And so I think he's going
That's
there.
true. That's true.
His work is his safe spot. And so I think he's like some people just as they do it, like me a lot of times. I know I do well at work. I'm safe at work. I go there and I don't have to worry about anything else. For some reason, I'm at work. I don't have bills. I don't have this. I don't have that. So I think that subconsciously he's doing something like that. So it's very 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 relatable everyman character. This guy has not shown any special skills. No special skills in fighting. Nothing. He's going through some tough times, and he's trying to be a good person, and he's making tough choices. So very relatable character. So he's
actually, I think he's a good captain. I think
to
he's
a
a
degree,
good captain.
to a degree, because he's not following all the rules. So what makes a good captain? Obviously, it's I guess relative perspective. But he's obviously not following every rule. Like so. But
I don't think pencil pushers make a good captain.
Well, I think he's trying to be a good person.
Yes.
So that's why.
Well, that's what I meant. I think he's a good person.
Yeah,
and
I think he's a good person
trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's definitely making tough choices, and as we see later, some of them go well, some of them go bad.
Mm-hmm.
But
so then he does leave, and then when his son turns around, he's like, "Oh, you can see, it's disappointing he doesn't see his dad anymore." But then when what happens? He gets to the docks. He finds he picks up Two Boots, who confirms their suspicions, right? That it was. Oh, he tells them he tells them that they should call the Empire again, right? Because in similar incidents in the past, they would have gone to the Republic. But then Lawson tells them these times the Empire is not like the Republic. And then we find out that his wife is an Empire, works for the Empire.
Yeah,
she's an Empire operative. And
operative?
then
It actually said operative. I just heard works there, so she could have been like a social worker. Like I have no idea what she is, but
she works for the Empire. And so the thing is that Two Boots tells him, "Is it personal? Is that why you don't want us to call? Is it personal because you don't want? Is that why you don't want us to call the Empire?"
Yeah.
And then Lawson tells him to drop it, and he says, "Oh, I apologize." And you could tell he's like put off. Lawson forbids it, so then they don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah, sure.
Then at the Shadow Collective hideout, Rook releases Vario and tells him that the Pike have been trying to contact him, because now they're back. And she tells him it's time for him to oblige them, and she's going to tell him exactly what to say. And then the spy bot, I love the spy bot, because then he says, "I want to hurt you bad." So he's kind of like Chopper, I love it. So that was really cool. And I wouldn't have known what he said, but I always put the descriptive audio when I watch it. And the descriptive audio said it clearly at the bottom. And then I listened to it again, and you can tell he said it. "I want to hurt you bad." I'm like, oh, I love that little spy bot. And then we cut to the Pike home planet of Obadiah, where the syndicate leader Marg Krim, voiced by Steven Stanton from Star Wars Rebels and other Lucas projects, he's talking to Vario's hologram. And then Ludi Vario denies any involvement with the recent attacks on Pike's shipments. And then he offers a deal in which he would return the syndicate's lost payments and the value of all the destroyed cargo. But Marg Kim threatens Vario with the punishment of death and anything, a fate worse than death, if the deal turns out to be a trick.
Yeah.
And Ludi's like, "Oh, that's good," and then it just like cuts the transmission. Then we swipe back to the police headquarters, and Chief Kleiss, which is Keiko Agena from Gilmore Girls, tells Lawson that Two Boots went over his head and asked the chief to bring in the Empire. So Two Boots is like adamant about let's call the Empire because Two Boots, I mean, he's a droid, so he's gonna try to follow all the protocols.
Yeah.
And she tells him, you better follow up with your droid, and but she's already reassigned him to desk duty, which will allow Brander more time to resolve the situation because she doesn't want the Empire there either. Because once that happens, they'll lose their autonomy.
Yeah.
And Two Boots is mad. He's so mad he covers up their picture of the two of them on his desk.
Yeah, I don't know if that was an accident or if Two Boots intentionally.
No, he did it on purpose. He like slid the box on in front of the cover. And it was intentional because in the descriptive audio, it says Two Boots covers the image of both of them on his desk. So that descriptive audio is really cool because it gives you lots of little hidden Easter eggs. So I love that descriptive audio. If you haven't used it before, I recommend it. At the Shadow Collective hideout, Devin finally reaches the base's exit, but she's blocked by Maul. Lightsabers come out because he takes out the other half of the lightsaber, not the one that she's stolen, but the other half. And then a Force user's duel ensues, and Maul's using only one hand with the other one easily behind his back because she's no match for him, right? She's just a Padawan learner. Now, Maul doesn't want to finish her, right? He just wants to like toy with her. So he's talking to her and he's fighting her off, holding her off easily, and she's no match for him. And before she manages to escape, he does say, "Oh, I'll need that back, Devin." And he like force pulls his lightsaber back. And then he lets her escape.
So it doesn't tell us how he knows, but I'm sure like he has access to some mainframes and stuff like that can search Jedi Archives and like former Jedi, and I'm sure there's not too many pink Twi'leks her age.
Oh, that's the one thing I forgot to mention too. When she ignited that lightsaber and he put out the lights and she was like swishing around trying to find him, she looked eerily like Darth Talon. It looks so good. So if you're a fan of the EU,
I don't know. I know people like Talon. I just think it's gonna be so awkward to.
I know she's not Talon. I know she's not, and she's not going to be Talon.
What if they literally make it? Will you be happy with that? Like,
no. I don't want her to be Talon.
Yeah. So it would be awkward for you if they made it.
It would be awkward because this doesn't fit that storyline at all. It doesn't fit the storyline at all.
Answer.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's odd because a lot of people want Dark Talon, but I think doing it this way is kind of odd. So I think people wouldn't be happy this way. It's very interesting how things happen, how you get what you want. So.
But if she became his apprentice and then she started getting tattoos and look like Talon, I'd be like, oh, so this is the canon Talon, would be a different story than the EU Talon, right?
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool though, because we would get Talon. I would be happy either way. But she did look like Talon.
I can see her actually getting tattoos. I think it would have to be another season, but she'd have to be like devoted.
Well, season 2's already been approved.
Well, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Not this season. She would have to be devoted to Maul, and that means not quick. It'd take several episodes of her following him, and then like she would say, "I am yours, master," or something like that, and then you could see her with the two.
I already kind of saw her kind of believing and falling into that kind of idea because you know what
really?
she is.
I think nothing but defiance with her right now when it comes to that.
But defiance leads to that.
It could, yes, but I haven't seen anything that says, she has, like I said, not Jedi ways of thinking sometimes, but I don't think, evil.
Little trickles. No, she's not evil, but there's little trickles like where she can kind of see, because she's already on the lam, she's already on the run.
She's young. She's upset that they're on the run. Yeah.
This was a good chapter beginning to end, it was good. A lot of good energy, a lot of good action. I liked it. Um, I'm liking the whole procedural, the police aspects of it. I like the relationship between Lawson and Two Boots.
I
I like.
did, but we'll get to
Mhm.
that.
So let's move on to chapter
Those are
4, Pride
traitors.
and Vengeance.
Should be
You
unplugged.
shush. He's not a traitor.
Should be
He's following
unplugged.
protocols. He's following
Take his
protocol.
batteries out, take his memory, and
He
wipe his
did take his
memory.
batteries out.
But somehow he got back on. Yeah, not good enough. Wipe his memories.
You're mean.
He's a VCR.
That's mean. That's essentially killing him.
Doesn't follow orders.
Pride and Vengeance opens with a lone shuttle approaching a green planet. The underworld criminal Ludivario, voiced by Chris Diamantopoulos, arriving at the Pike home planet of Obadiah as he tucks a blaster into his outfit. On the landing platform, he's bringing with him the credits that he promised to deliver to Krim. As Vario exits the ship, he secretly warns that he was forced to do it. He's like, I didn't want to. I had to do it. They made me. The Pike order the ship scanned, and then they sense another life form on board. A cloaked figure with a red lightsaber descends, and he starts slashing at the Pike. Vario yells at them that he tried to warn them, but they didn't listen. And as the figure passes him, he brandishes his weapon and he fires at him in stun.
So I get the whole double cross, whatever you want to call it. Let them know that this is a trap, so they kind of believe him. So when you stop them, they believe you. They take you to the thing to Maul, not Maul, but the leader. Forgot his name. But
Krim.
it was all unnecessary. Maul didn't need, once Maul was on the planet, they didn't need to do any of this song and dance. And then the other thing I thought was odd is, I think his name's Icarus. One the other Dathomir, not Dathomir, the Zabrak.
The Zabrak?
He was really good with the lightsaber. He was chopping them down, kind of like Maul. I thought that was a little like, this is like Jedi level. Like he went, it was like 10 pikes started shooting on, and it was like no problem. So I thought that was a little odd. I don't think he should have been that good. And then at the same time, this was all unnecessary, really. But I get you telling a story. You want to be entertaining to the people watching, so I get it. But to me, literally, I thought that was a little all this extra stuff we didn't need. But I get it.
It was still fun, John.
It was
Come
fun,
on,
but
it was still fun.
one was a little unbelievable, and the other was unnecessary. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But
Anyway,
just wasted my time at this point.
It's all wasted
Let's
because
get to the meat
it's
and
all
potatoes,
necessary.
and then let's put the parsley off to the side. Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Okay, I'm with you. I don't like cilantro. So they get into the, and so then he tells them, tell them who brought a Maul, so drag his body in there. So they start dragging the cloaked figure in, and he tells them, I brought you Maul, and they tell Krim, and Krim's sitting on his throne. And then when they get in there, he says, bring him to me, and he says, I knew it was Maul, Krim's up on his throne. And when they pull back the cloak, it's like, this isn't Maul. And he picks up the lightsaber, and as soon as he holds it, the doors open, and the real Maul is behind the door at the entrance.
I'm saying Maul could have got in there.
I know, but this is more exciting. It's more exciting.
This is again where it kind of went back to bad showing of lightsaber fights, because he did the thing what Kylo Ren did to Snoke, where he's holding the lightsaber, so he turns on the lightsaber and stabs him, then brings it to him. But it was so fast, I didn't really catch what. I'm like, what? I'm like, how did he do that? Like, it was so fast. Like I guess
I saw it.
It was honestly, it's too quick.
He ignited it. He turned it. He ignited it and he swirled it. When he ignited and swirled it, it sliced him and killed him. And then it swirled and came to him. He called it to him through the Force. I saw it clearly.
Well, that's it. It was a little too fast for me. But at the same time, you just killed the main guy that made it anticlimactic in my mind. It's like you're supposed to kind of kill everyone else, have him last, then kill him. But it was too easy for Maul. Like
Everything's too easy for Maul.
They surrendered. Like, all right, you're the new leader. You're the new leader. That was really quick.
Well, he left the captain of the guard in charge.
Yeah, which was interesting. Like the
Well,
not like who maybe the number 2 or someone who knows the process. Like,
it's captain of
the captain of the guard. You're in charge. You're like, okay.
He said, "You're in charge, but you report to me."
So I think he's gonna keep Vario alive for that reason.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna kill him after this, but no. I think
no.
He wants control of all the Shadow Collective again.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Obviously, Vario's, and then I forget that guy, the 3-eyed gangster in the beginning.
They're all useful. Well, that one's dead.
Take over that clan, and so we have at least 2 clans right now that somebody else can watch and take care of, and then just report to Maul. So I think
because he wanted,
So I think that's what's going to happen right now.
Yeah.
But as we can see, something else happens.
So, they all yield to him because he's too powerful for them. They're mere mortals. Then in Maul recaps the history between himself and the Pikes, and then after putting the captain of the guard, who's Cult, that's Steve Blum from Star Wars Rebels, in charge of the Syndicate. He says, "This is what awaits anyone who betrays me." We're back at Janix, where the Jedi Padawan Devon Azara is running through the streets after having escaped, is looking for Master Iko Diodaka, and she's reunited with him, and they retreat to their underground hideout, and then Master Daki tells Azara that they need to leave immediately because now that Maul's there, the Empire's going to get there, right? Because Maul's too big of a threat.
Yeah.
And they're going to risk being exposed because, once the Empire shows up, their hideout's no longer a secret. But then she convinces them that they need to go to Brander Lawson and include the local police force. Because he wanted to leave. And she's like, "No, we need to capture Maul. I know where he is." He's like, "No, it's just the 2 of us. It's not enough. We can't handle Maul alone." And she's like, "No, but it's more than just us. There's Lawson. There's the local police force. All of us together can take him." And he's like, "You're right, but fine."
It's
Lawson's
like the guy. Jedi way actually would be to do something about it, but at the same time,
that's the right thing to do.
There is no Jedi anymore, so it's kind of like.
But they are Jedi.
But how can you be something there doesn't exist anymore? It's like,
but they still are Jedi, whether they like it or not.
Officer that say your district's fired or goes out, you're still a police officer.
But they still are Jedi.
That's what I'm saying. Are they really still Jedi? So what? So if they were still Jedi, would they still be in hiding? Would Jedi be in hiding?
They still are Jedi.
But would a Jedi be in hiding? Is a very interesting thing to think about. But So yeah. I get it. I mean, obviously, this is what's going to kill Iko Dako, whatever his name is, staying around when he should have left. Now, I don't know if it's going to be Maul, or it could now be an Inquisitor, because there's going to be an Inquisitor on that ship. I mean, Maul said it, so
he's already not in a good way.
Yeah,
as we shall see.
What's interesting? Okay, I guess we can get to that point.
Yeah. Well, so then she convinces him. She convinces him that they need to stay and do something.
Yeah.
Because she says, he's gonna hurt people if we just leave and let him stay. And then Master Iko Diodaki agrees, like, okay, fine. We'll send an anonymous tip to Lawson. So they do send him a tip, and then he knows how to get through, because then Lawson's like, yeah, we got a tip, but he's like, you know how many anonymous tips we get? The guy's like, yeah, but this one came from your uncle. And then right away Lawson's like, my uncle, and he remembers the conversation when his son was playing. So he goes to his boss and says, hey, I know where Maul is. And then at that point, his partner Two Boot says, what happened? What's going on? He's like, we know where Maul is. We're gonna go get him. He's like, that's it. We've got to go alert the Empire. This is too big, because Maul is on the most wanted list, right? And Two Boots knows that there's no way their local law enforcement can handle Maul. So he goes right away to go call the Empire, because they need reinforcement. And Two Boots is absolutely right.
Yeah.
They need reinforcement for Maul. He's like the most wanted in the universe. So he's calling the Empire, and Lawson's like, "What are you doing?" So he gets in there and he deactivates him,
Should have just
and then
put up.
he like
Took,
cancels like, "Oh, false alarm. It's malfunctioning droid. Everything's fine. You know, reactor leak." Pull the Han Solo.
How are
We're
you?
fine. How are you? And then he just like shuts the door so that nobody checks on Two Boots, and then he just goes, right. They're gonna catch Maul with a whole legion of officers. But the good thing is that they're also gonna have two Jedi with them, which is Master Iko Diodaki and Devin Azara. So it's all the law enforcement and two Jedi. So it's actually gonna be like in 1 year's time when they did have the Jedi. So there is I don't know why I got excited because I thought it's almost like I had hope that they would catch him, even though I know they don't. But
Yeah,
I
I
had
mean,
hope like they might
chapter
because they were like,
4, the first season. Got him.
I know, but I had feel it felt hopeful because they had two Jedi and all the law
Well, this
enforcement.
is what I'm like. This is what I'm mad at. I headed to this is a trap, guys. This
I
obviously
know,
is a trap. I'm
I
like,
know.
no, but that's why I was almost upset with Dico Daco or whatever, because like as a wise Jedi, he should have known that like maybe let's do a little scoping out ourselves or something before we send the police into
A
essentially a slot.
trap.
So
I
I
know, because then
kind of
they're
thought
gonna
that,
get hurt.
yeah.
That
Not
was
that a
poor
lot of them
planning on
are
their part.
droids, but I want to say, from what it looks like when I'm watching, it looks like they have like squads or whatever, and every squad looks like led by a human, but then there's like 4 or 5 droids with them.
There's
So there
humans and
are a
droids.
decent amount of humans in it, and you obviously see some get stretchered away at the end.
But they also have the little what are those things called that fly in? The little
Drones,
drones. They also have the drones
yeah.
because they'll show a lot of drones. So that's good. So what happens? When they get there, um, they head to the location, and Master Daki and Devon are already there. So they did get there first, and they make it to the building, and they find Vario's there with a holopuck and a message for Lawson because they were expecting him. They knew he was going to show up. Maul offers Lawson a truce to keep the Empire away because Maul's all one step ahead of everybody. Maul knows that Lawson doesn't want the Empire there. He knows that Master Daki and Devon don't want the Empire there for sure because they'll kill them. So he knows nobody
Well,
wants the Empire there.
even though it was a trap, I still think this is kind of an odd choice by Maul. I mean, yeah, I know what you're trying to get at. You want to get at let's not bring the Empire here, but I think he needs to do this a little more subtle because you can't have he's not a captain, he's like a sergeant or whatever. You can't have him admitting in front of this whole squad, you know what, we're gonna let you do what you want to do.
Your crime lord.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't say that. So you need to come to him privately and say this.
I
He still
know.
would probably say no, but then you could really get a little bit more personal. You could say
I
something
know.
like, well, your son is doing good in this film. But like obviously he's gonna say no. So I'm like,
He had to say no.
he's gonna say no. So this was the one time I didn't think Maul thought it through, even though Maul's been really smart this whole time. This was kind of weird, unless Maul wants to bring the Empire there. That's the one thing I'm thinking. Maybe Maul really does want the Empire there. I was like, I don't think he does. So I thought it was very interesting and odd move by Maul to do it like this.
Well,
Because
ultimately, he wants the Empire to come because he wants to kill the Emperor.
yeah, but he knows he can't defeat the Emperor. He lost pretty badly, him and his
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
So he needs to train Devin, but he's not even started training her yet. So like,
Hmm.
maybe he should have waited a little bit. That's why an interesting thing. Unless he knows he's that smart, this is bringing the Empire will be some kind of catalyst to make her come to him.
Well, he does think he's that smart.
Yeah.
That's
So
his flaw too.
yeah, and obviously he doesn't kill the Empire. So the Emperor.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So we'll see how it goes. But
So
was a good lightsaber fight.
wait. So he offers him the truce, and of course Lawson refuses. And then they start opening fire on all of them, and they pull up their shields and stuff. And then, but Master Daki and Devin find Maul, and then they offer him the opportunity to surrender, and then he refuses, and then they start the lightsaber duel, right?
Yeah. It's pretty cool to see. God, that guy's name, the lizard
Daki,
guy,
Master Daki.
Daki fight, because pretty cool. He did a pretty good job. I mean, Maul's one of the best lightsaber duelists ever, so he did a pretty good job against fighting him. He even gets a shot in one time. I think he hits his arm or something like that.
He destroyed his leg.
Yeah, he busted up pretty good. So I was pretty impressed by him. She's honestly, he'd probably be better off with her not there. She's might be just more of a distraction at this point. But it was pretty cool. But I didn't quite see the damage it happens to Daki. I thought Maul just kicked him in his chest. Is that all? Or did he actually hit him with the lightsaber?
No, they didn't show, but Daki's hiding something.
Yeah, he's obviously covering something up. So
he's covering something up because he didn't show at the end of the episode, but he did fall off the scaffolding onto his back, and then Maul was about to get him, and then Izara blocked him, and then he says, "You are lucky to have your Padawan with you," because he was about to take him out, and he goes, "No, I have to leave." But he had to leave because his leg was severely damaged because Daki sliced open his mechanical leg during the fight.
Yeah. He kicked it pretty good too. Like he pushed it almost like hyperextended it sideways, something like that.
Oh yeah. So and then Lawson, when Lawson found them, he's like, "Why didn't you tell me you were a Jedi?" Because he walks in on them and they have their lightsabers ignited, and then he's like, "Well, it's pretty obvious why we wouldn't say that, right? Because the Jedi they're all enemies of the state." So he's like, "I would have thought that's pretty obvious." And so Lawson's like, "Yeah, you're right," because Lawson likes the Jedi.
Yeah.
They used to be.
He worked with them when he was
with them.
A year ago, and he's been an officer for more than a year. So he used to. Work
so he knows that they're not enemies of the state,
yeah.
And he's not a rule follower to the T, like all the others. So he knows that they're not what the Empire says. He doesn't. Yeah, so I like that. So what happens next?
Pretty much just the aftermath of the fight, and Two Boots shows up.
Oh yes, that's right. Two Boots shows up, and then he tells him, "Oh, you know what? I apologize. I hope you can forgive me." And then Two Boots says, "Yeah, and I hope you can forgive me for what I did." And then all their little comms start lighting up, and all the droids start lighting up too. And of course, I knew what that meant. And then, while that's happening, we see that backup's arriving, and then at that point, the spybot's spreading smoke so that Maul and his entourage can leave, and they go through the sewers with Rook, and Maul's leg, we can see it's damaged and it's beginning to act up, so he collapses the tunnel so that nobody can follow him. And Spybot calls in to report that something else that's troubling for the collective is happening.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, what we're seeing next. And in the alley, Devin comforts Daki as he recovers from the fight. And then we see a familiar silhouette of an Imperial Star Destroyer arriving over Janix.
So now, Daki knows there's no getting off the planet now. Everyone that gets off the planet is going to be ID checked and everything. So he's essentially, it's going to be extremely hard to get off the planet, or his fate is sealed. Which obviously
they're screwed.
We all think. I don't think anyone thinks Daki is going to live to the end of this.
No,
but I find him a really enjoyable character. So I just he let her sway him into not a wise move. But other than that, I mean, at the same time, it's the way of the Jedi to help. So I get it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would have ran, but I'm a very self-preservation person.
No, you're not, John. No, you're not.
When it comes to keeping
Stop your lying.
Yeah.
We play games together. He's not. Don't believe him.
Dangerous games.
He's died. He's died for us so many times. Stop your lying.
All right.
I'm the one that would have left you.
You guys have left me.
We killed you off. Yes.
All right. So, what do you think about the overall of these last two episodes? What do you think of it so far?
I think they've both had a lot of really good action. Lightsaber scenes definitely much improved. Uh, much improved. Like I said a little bit earlier, really good character development for all the characters across the board. Really good writing. I like that all the subplots have been well developed. I like it all. So
I'm enjoying it too. Yeah.
and it's getting better. So
I think it is
these
too. I was
two
going to say
episodes are
that.
better than the first two.
Yeah.
So I'm very hopeful. And I got the second issue of the comics, which I wish the whole series had come out before the cartoon series had come out, because these, of course, are all a prequel to the cartoon. Now that I
Well,
know that, I'm really
I
upset.
was talking to a mutual friend of ours, Lonnie, and she says it's kind of at the same time maybe it is intentional because sometimes you watch movies and they keep having flashbacks throughout the movie, and maybe this is a flashback. We're watching our movie, and you're supposed to read the comic at the same time, so it's kind of like a flashback. So if you view it like that, it might work. But as a linear story, it's obviously out of
No.
context.
Okay. I have a friend who's friends with the comic book writer, and the comic book writer said, don't watch the cartoon series until you've read all the comics first. He said,
So
please read the comics first.
I'm a optimistic type of guy. I'm kind of
So the comics were written to be read first and then the cartoon series. But then
I mean, there's tons of stories we can like that where they do two storylines going and you find out one's a past or something like that.
I know. But
And
the intent was to read the
yeah,
comics first. And they even marketed it that way.
so
But oh
yeah,
well,
I
life
guess
happens.
you're just a doomsdayer, not like me.
Life happens. Life happens. I did like the second issue though. I did
But
see it.
the
I read it
sucks
already. It was
is
good.
so this is more proof to you're right. Is the next issue doesn't come out till the show's over.
I know.
So maybe if they're doing like weekly or something, but since it's at the end of the show, I'm like, oh yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
So, I really think it's like I had already even the first two issues it felt like a bell curve already. I think like the first issue and a half was just action, and then we got to storyline, and then this one, chapter 3 started off a storyline. Her breaking out and talking, a lot of storyline. So, we're doing really good. Now you're seeing also Lawson struggle more. You're gonna see him even struggle more. It's gonna escalate even more. Because guess what? Now the Empire's there. Oh yeah, his son's gonna hate him even more. It's just gonna get worse on this planet. So I want to say Jacko, not Jack. Janix is gonna get rough. His life's gonna get worse. And we're only halfway through, and so we're gonna see more stuff happening. So
I have a
the
prediction.
storylines. Huh?
I have a prediction. I think his wife is going to be on that Star Destroyer because she works for the Empire.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
And since his son is mad at him, he's going to take sides with his wife.
You're going to join the Empire.
Probably.
Be part of the Boku Daki ball.
But I still think that Maul's going to use his son as one of my predictions too, to like manipulate Lawson, like as a pawn.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much more power Lawson has now. Honestly, I think he's gonna have power within his own soldiers or officers. But like big picture, how much power does he have?
Now that the Empire's there, yeah.
So I'm gonna give him.
How about you? Any predictions?
Any more predictions? Well, obviously, Deko Daki dies. He's not gonna make it.
You already predicted that. New predictions.
How he dies was this wound going to slowly kill him, or is something else happen? That's kind of I thought he got kicked in the stomach. That's why I'm like, why is he still hurt? But you pointed out he's hiding something, so I kind of I see the image of him kind of covering it, so maybe he did get stabbed. So this time maybe a lightsaber through the eye of him does kill somebody this time. So we'll see. Predictions. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, it's very good. Honestly, because it's multiple seasons, it's really hard for me to make predictions. Like I said, big predictions are we're going to see the Emperor. We'll probably, even if it goes multiple seasons, see Vader. But yeah, this season, I don't know. Honestly, it's going to be tough to see how this season ends now that the Empire's here. Do they stay on this planet? Can they stay on this planet? Can you have multiple overlapping storylines on a single planet once the Empire is there? It's very going to be interesting to see how they do that.
Do you have a wish? Do you have a wish?
And like I said, my main wish is seeing Vader versus Maul. That would be amazing. Does Vader ever get? He does get I mean, I'm saying, does Vader ever get another apprentice? He gets a secret apprentice in the video games. The Sam Witwer's character.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be something? That would be the ultimate wish list. You see Maul and Vader and their apprentices.
Oh my gosh. I know. That would be awesome.
Dream.
I have a wish. I have a wish too. Do you know what my wish is for this series? I know. I love Witwer. I can't get enough Witwer.
Yeah.
You know what my wish is?
Star Killer is in this. What's up?
I know. My wish is that we get Kira on this show.
Hera?
Kira.
Oh, we might. Yeah, they don't really give us much in good Lord, Solo. But
because
Kira,
Solo's after this.
Yeah, but there's a time skip in Solo. Remember that. So in the beginning of Solo, she is kind of innocent, and the end. So it's very, very interesting if this is before that time skip or not. But it'd be cool. But who knows? Especially if they go multiple seasons.
That's my wish, though. That's my wish. My wish would be to see Kira.
Yeah, but she would almost have to be more low level, not like leader type. Because I think this is if it is, it'd be very early in her.
But it would have to be how she's inducted into what's the thing? Not Midnight Sun. What is it called?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Black Sun. Something.
Black Sun. Yes, it's Black Sun.
Yeah.
Because they've already mentioned Black Sun.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, they mentioned Black Sun.
They did mention it, but they haven't really. They're not.
Oh, she's Crimson Dawn, right?
Crimson Dawn. Yes. Crimson Dawn.
But they mentioned both of them. They mentioned at the very beginning of this episode, they mentioned the first episode, chapter 3, they mentioned Crimson Dawn and Black Sun. And Kira was associated with that. So that's my wish.
It's a good wish.
All right.
What do you holocron?
Holocrons. You first. 3. You gave higher holocrons to the first 2.
We're gonna go 4.25.
Whoa! What?
I really like them.
Me too. 4.25.
Honestly, fine. Let's go 4.5. I'm gonna 4.
What?
Because it's gonna get better. I think it's gonna get better, and I have to leave room for it to get better. So I think I'm grading this on a very, very tough scale because it's doing so well. I just can't give them all 5. So 4.5. Like I said, little things. I felt like the Jedi Master should have known that was a trap, and the whole song and dance was sneaking.
I think he knew it was a trap. I think he knew. That's why he wanted to leave.
Yeah. But then
his Padawan,
and then the whole song and dance thing with Maul getting him into the Pike's Palace when he easily got into it. Those are extremely small picks I'm knitting. But other than that, really, really.
That's why I give it a 4.25.
You do?
No, 4.5 for me too. John!
I rubbed off on him.
I love these 2 episodes. They were good.
They're very good.
Yes. Keep rubbing. Keep rubbing. All right, let's pay some bills.
Be sure you're
Be sure
following
you're
us on
following
our.
us on our new website, www.virtualcantinanetwork.com, as well as YouTube at Virtual Cantina Network, on Instagram at Virtual Cantina Network, on X, formerly Twitter, at Cantina Virtual, on Twitch at Virtual Cantina Network, and on TikTok at Virtual Cantina. And like the VCN's Star Wars Celebration Los Angeles 2027 Facebook group page. That's it.
That's it.
Oh, and check out our partner pages. Check out our partner pages, which is Star Wars Book Nerds and Star Wars Comic Book Too
Geeks.
Small for me to read.
Oh, comic book club.
Nerds.
Star Wars Comic Book Club. God, yeah, we should make
Okay.
them larger to read. Please like, comment, subscribe. We saw we had some comments in the last one, which is really fun. We can interact with you guys. Let us know
We
what you guys
appreciate you.
think. What do you guys rank this episode as? You think it 5s, 4.5, 3s?
4.5.
Okay, you might hate it. Maybe Maul's not your guy. Maybe Maul's overdone. And honestly, there's an argument Maul's overdone. But not for me. But I can see arguments where they say that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next week.
See you next week. Oh, and this Sunday we have a Jedi Archives comic book review, so don't miss that one, because that's our regular show with John, Bryce, and me.
May the Force be with you.
And remember, we are all the Republic.
Hey, I'm actor Chris Bartlett from The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're watching Virtual Cantina Network.